Now, in our topic, what today we're going to be looking at is completing the square. Completing the square. I know you might be looking at all these expressions here. You might be you're getting a little worried, but no need to fret. I will help you to understand what it means to complete the square. Now, first of all, let's remind ourselves of what is a quadratic expression. A quadratic expression is written in the form ax squared plus bx plus c. So when we have any expression written in that form, we have a quadratic expression but the a cannot be zero. A cannot be zero. So once we have a quadratic expression written in that form, we could have it, or we could also write it in what is known as the completed square form. The completed square form. Now, what it means to complete the square, it means that we are writing our quadratic expression in the form of a perfect square plus some constant. The perfect square plus some constant. Now, to rewrite an algebraic expression as a perfect square, we have to get it in this form. This form will give us a perfect square. A, which is the coefficient of x squared, times x squared plus b over ax plus b over 2a squared. If we have an expression in this form, we have a perfect square. So how do we write this expression as a perfect square? Now let's look at our example here. So we have to write our portion here as a perfect square. C represents our constant here. So what is A? A will be, one good thing is just to represent what A, B, and C is. So A is equal to 1, B is equal to 3, and C is also equal to 1. So we can rewrite this as 1 times x squared plus b over 1, or b over a, which will be 3. So that will give us 3x plus b, which is 3 over 2 times 1 all squared. Now we're adding to that plus 1c minus 1 times what is in here, 3 over 2 times 1 all square. Now why did we subtract here? Exactly what's here. Now remember, in this portion here, notice that we're adding 3 over 2 times 1 all square to this part of the expression. And if we add in something to the expression, to balance it out, we must subtract that exact. Now we multiply by a because a is multiplying what's in that bracket. So therefore, whatever we add here, we must subtract it over there. So once it's in this form, now b over 2a becomes this h here. B over 2a comes h. So we can rewrite this part as, well, the 1 times anything will give us back that expression. So we could just have the x squared here, or just x, because we're writing it in this form, plus this becomes our h value. So that will be 3 over 2 all squared plus 1. And now we have to complete this part. So how do we do that? Minus, this will give us 3 over 2 all squared, which x plus 3 over 2 all squared plus 1 minus 9 over 4. So subtracting 1, or we could put 1 over 1 minus 9 over 4. All right, LCM 4. This will give us 4 take 9, which will be equal to minus 5 over 4. So rewriting this expression as a completed square form, we will have x plus 3 over 2 all squared minus 5 over 4. So our expression here, our algebraic expression of x squared plus 3x plus 1 can be written as x squared, x plus 3 over 2 all squared minus 5 over 4. And you will see the importance of us doing this in a few lessons further down. Now, another way we could work this out, is by using our formula, method. We'll notice that in the completed square form, we have a h and a k. So we can use this formula to find what h and what k is, and then just substitute it. And once we do that, we should get the same answer as we would here. So let's try that. So if h is equal to b over 2a, h is equal to b over 2a. So the h here is equal to b being 3 over 2 times 1. So h is equal to 3 over 2. Right? So you see we have it there. Now to find what k is. K is equal to 4 times a. A is 1. C is also 1 minus 3 squared over 4 times 1, which will give us 4 minus 3 squared, which is 9 over 4, which will give us minus 5 over 4, which now we substitute our h and k into our completed square form. So x plus 3 over 2 squared minus 5 over 4 is equal to x squared plus 3x plus 1 in our completed square format. Now, I know that you're looking at this and you're telling yourself, you're going to use this one because this seems much easier. But it's good to know both methods, right? Good to know both methods. So let's do some more examples with using both methods to see that we will get the same answer no matter which method we use. All right, so here we have a next example of we want to write our quadratic expression in the completed square format. With the completed square format, which is a times x plus h all squared plus k. So first, let's identify what a, b, and c would be. So a will be equal to 1, b is equal to minus 9, and c will be equal to negative 7. So we want to write our expression in the completed square format. So remember, we have it in this format. So a times x squared. So we're rewriting this portion in this format. We're writing the x squared minus 9x in this format. So we will have x squared plus b, which is minus 9 over 1 x plus minus 9 over 2 times 1 all squared. Now, once we write it in that format, or let's just put in our plus c, or which c is minus 7, take 1 times, same thing, we subtract, whatever we add, we subtract. So we will have 9 minus 9 over 2 times 1 all squared. All right. Now, let's work this out. So we said once it's in this format, once we have it in this format, this minus 9 over 2 times 1 becomes our age value. So we have 1 times x minus 9 over 2 all squared. So now we just have to find what our k is equal to, and we will work this out, which will be minus 7. Now 9 squared will give us a positive, so that will give us, take a to 1 over 4. Take a to 1 over 4. Now let's add our fraction. So we have minus 7 over 1, take a to 4, a to 1 over 4. Our LCM will be 4. 1 into 4 will give us 4. 4 times 7 minus 28, take a to 1. So working that out, we will have minus 109 over 4. So k here is minus 109 over 4. So there we have our answer. Now let's check out h and k using the formula to see if we will come up with the same answer. We'll come up with the same answer. So let's work. So h is equal b, which is minus 9 over 2 times 1. So h is equal to minus 9 over 2, and that is what we have there. K is equal to 4 times 1 times c, which is minus 7, take minus 9 all squared over 4 times 1. Right? So that will give us minus 28, take a to 1 all over 4, which will give us k being 109 over 4. So k is 109 over 4, so we now substitute it into our to write it in the completed format. So we will have a, which is 1, so we can rewrite it as x, take 9 over 2 squared, take 109 over 4, and you see we have it the same answer. So we could do it both this method or our formula method, right? And I'm sure I know which one you will choose. Here we have another example, but here we have a number other than 1 as the coefficient of x squared. So first, remember, we're rewriting this portion as a perfect square. So to rewrite that, we said first we factor out our 4 times, we're left with x squared. We're now left with b, which is 3, plus 3 over 4x, right? Because a is x, plus b, which is 3 over 2 times 4 all squared, plus, all right, c is negative 2, so minus 2, take 4 times 3 over 2 times 4 all squared. All right? So let's work and see what answer we get. So remember that once we have it in this format, the h value is what's in here. 3 over 2 times 4. 3 over 2 times 4. So 4 times x plus 3 over 2 fours will give us 8 squared. Take 2 minus, let's work this out. This will give us 2, 3 threes, 9, 9 over minus 4 times 9 over 4 fours, 4 twos, 8. 8 squared will give us 64. And working this out, we will reduce that here, so we'll have minus 9 over 60. So take 9 over 16. Right? Take 9 over 16. So remember how we did this? 3 squared is 9. 2 fours 8, and 8 squared is 64. And when we multiply that by negative 4, we reduce and we get 9 over 16. So now let us work out the answer for our subtraction. So minus 2, take 9 over 16. This is over 1. We have 16 there. 1 into 16 is 16. 16 times 2 will give us minus 32. Take 9. So that will give us minus 41 over 16. So we will have 4 times x plus 3 over 8 squared minus 41 over 16. So there we have it. So this is it in the completed square format. Now let's use our formula just to check to see if we will have the same answer. And let's work it. So h is equal to b over 2a. Remembering, let's just identify each value. A is equal to 4, b is equal to 3, and c is equal to minus 2. So what we will have, h will be equal to 3 over 2 times 4. So h is equal to 3 over 8. That's what we have for h there. K is equal to 4 times 4 times minus 2. Take 3 squared all over 4 times 4, which will give us 4, 4, 16, 16 times minus 2 is 32. Minus 32, take 9 over 16. Alright? Notice, I want you to notice that when we work this out, it is the same as when we're working out our fraction here. Right? Same as when we're working out our fraction there. So this formula is just us working this portion out completely. Alright? So you see why it is. This formula makes it much easier. So it's equal to minus 41 over 60. So writing it in that format, we will have our 4 times x plus 3 over 8 all squared minus 41 over 60. Alright, we will do one more example with this before you can go to your worksheets and do some practice exercise using the completed square method. And you could use which formula or which method suits you best. Here we have another example, and if you think you can, and I know by now you're able to do it, if you want to do it by yourself, just pause the video, go right ahead and do it, and then come back to see if you got the same answer. So pause the video, try it on your own, and then we'll work it together to see if the answer would be the same. Alright, if you would have done that, let's go right ahead and work. So first of all, we must remember that we're writing this portion here. We want to write this portion here as a perfect square. So first we factor out our 9. So factoring out our 9, we're left with x squared plus 6 over minus 9x. And then we now add 6 over 2 times minus 9 all squared, which will be plus the c, which is negative 7. Take, now a is minus 9, so we'll have minus 9 times 6 over 2 times minus 9 all squared. All right, so we said once we have it in this format, this becomes our h value, b over 2a. And notice b over 2a is equal to h. b over 2a is equal to h. So that will give us minus 9 times x. B over 2a, which will give us, let's just work it out here, 6 over minus 18. And reducing this, we will get negative 1/3. So minus 1/3 times, we will have minus 7. All right, let's work this out. We know, all right, we know when we work in here, we will end up with minus 1/3. Minus 1/3. So minus 1/3 squared, minus 1/3 squared, minus 7. All right. So we'll have plus 9, the negative and negative, so minus 7 plus 9. We know we have 1/3 squared, and minus 1/3 squared will give us 1 over 9. Reducing that, we will have minus 7 plus 1. Minus 7 plus 1. All right, so remember, in here will give us 6 over minus 18. 6 over minus 18, we reduce that and we'll get negative 1/3. We square negative 1/3 and we will get 1/9. So 9 times 1/9 will give us 1. So minus 7 plus 1, which will give us minus 9x minus 1 over 3 all squared, take 6. So that is our answer. Now notice that when we're working this out, the formula method, each portion here, remember b over 2a, that is h, that is what we put here. So the formula method is just us simplifying all that we have to do, right? Simplifying all that we have to do. So what h is equal to? H is equal to b, which is 6 over 2 times minus 9. H is equal 6 over minus 18. H is equal to 1 minus 1/3. So we found what h is equal to. K is equal to 4 times minus 9 times minus 7. Take 6 squared over 4 times minus 9. Right, so k is equal, all right, so we have 4 times, or all right, 9 times 7 will give us 63. 63 times 4 will give us, 60 times 4 is 240. 240 plus 12, 252. Take 36 over minus 36. All right, so subtracting here, we will get 216 over minus 36. 216 over minus 36. And dividing that, we will get minus 6 as our answer. So we can rewrite it as minus 9x take 1/3 all squared minus 6 in the completed square format. Now, what I will say that this process, the formula process, would be easier for us to do it. But just for you to get better at it, you can practice it both ways. You could practice it the first method, check your answer using the second method. All right? But in exam where time would be of importance, I would suggest use the second method to quickly get your answer. Now, in our next class, what we're going to do, we're going to use the completed square method to solve quadratic equations.